If you're an avid mountain biker, you know better than anyone that the trails can take a toll on your bike. So let's take a look at some ways to easily maintain your bike before each ride. First, let's take a look at the chain. First of all, make sure the chain is tight. Next, check for any signs of wear, broken links, or stretching. If you see visible damage, replace it as soon as you can. Now move on to the rear cog and chain rings. Observe them for any bending or broken teeth. You will be able to bend teeth back into place with a pair of pliers, but if you have teeth that are broken, you should replace the chain ring or cog immediately. Next, shift through all your gears and make sure they shift smoothly. If they don't, you will have to adjust the set screws on the proper derailleur as indicated. Now take a look at your cranks. Give them a spin and make sure they spin freely. Also make sure that the bearings are tight. If they feel loose, tighten them up at the bottom bracket with an adjustable wrench. Your tires and brakes will probably be the parts that wear out faster than anything else. Examine your tires for any tread wear or damage to the sidewalls and replace them if needed. Now with your hand, spin both wheels to make sure they spin freely. If they don't, make sure the brakes aren't catching and that the wheel bearings aren't too tight. Now observe your brakes and make sure the pads aren't worn too far down. Replace them as needed. The last thing you should do before heading out is to check and make sure your handle grips aren't worn out, that the pedals are tight, and that the common bolts on your bike are tight and secure. If your grips are worn, replace them as soon as you can. You can check the tightness of the pedals with a small wrench and look over your entire bike for visual common bolts and just make sure they are tight as well with an Allen wrench or screwdriver. If you practice good maintenance with your bike, you will experience far less breakdowns on the trails. However, anything can happen when you're out riding hard, so it's a good idea to keep a spare tube and a few spare tools with you for emergencies.